In this video, you'll see me take her from this outgrown faded color to this beautiful dimensional icy blonde. Welcome to my channel, you guys. I go by the name of Dr. Balayage. I am a balayage specialist based out in New York City, and my channel is all about tutorials on how I achieve my results. I take you guys step by step throughout the entire process while offering tips and tricks along the way. Now let's get into it. And while we are on the topic of the channel, if there are any videos you'd like to see, maybe something like color melting, balayage placement, highlight placement, root shadow placement, beach wave tutorial using just a brush, the tools I use and why, the hair care products I recommend to all my clients, product reviews, reaction videos, literally anything like that, just leave the request in the comments and I promise you I will make the videos for the most requested topics, whatever they may be. So guys, let me tell you, so far this girl had the longest hair I've had the pleasure of working on specifically for this channel. In certain lighting angles, her hair appears lighter and in others darker. This client found me on Instagram and had completely trusted me for the job. She wanted an icy blonde, so we're starting off around the level 6 base, normal texture with a little more density than the normal. These really long foils come in handy when working with these lengths. I believe her hair was about 1.5 feet long. You'll see me take out a measuring tape later. As shown in some of my previous videos, the Airtouch technique is super effective when done properly. It's not for every hair type. The hair texture has to be fine to normal. Coarse hair will only work if the density is low to normal, but if it's coarse and thick, this is not the technique for your guest. You'll see me pull out the section perpendicular or 90 degrees from the head, run my tail comb through this section to just get all those shorter strands aligned, and it becomes much easier for them to get blown away from the blow dryer. Since I know I'll be using a root shadow on her, I don't necessarily have to go all the way up to the scalp with the lightener because it's not highlights. But here's a tip that's going to save your blow dryer. If you keep turning it on and off for this technique, it can be very taxing on the lifespan of the blow dryer. So what you'll need to do is keep the blow dryer on the cool setting, switching the heat option off. This way, it's only the fan that's working and not the heating coil. I learned that from Danilo, whose last name I cannot even pronounce, so I'm not even going to go there. Another thing I like to do sometimes for more control of my section is apply a very light strip of lightener onto my foil so I have that initial grip. It also helps with saturation. If you're wondering what lightener I'm using, it's my favorite Schwarzkopf Blonde Me 9 lightener with 10 volume. For this guest, I started my mixing ratios with 3 ounces of powder to a little over 6 ounces of 10 volume. A lot of my fellow colorists ask me what do I do when I need to use a lot more product to achieve the look that my guests request. I make it very simple. I tell all my clients that per balayage or highlighting session, I allocate 3 bowls of lightener, and as I just mentioned, I use about 9 ounces of product per bowl. So if what they're looking for requires more than 27 ounces of product, it will require more time, therefore being more expensive for the client. Each additional bowl of product filled with 9 more ounces costs an additional $50. I tell them this before their service so they're aware. Nobody wants to get their hair done for hours and hours only to get to the register to see a $750 bill that they thought would be like $300. Be upfront in the beginning. For those of you wondering, no, I am not sponsored by Schwarzkopf, I just really like their product. For hair texture and density like hers, another thing I like to do is use another foil to close my section off. The reason I do that is because if you fold it, you risk creating a crease in the hair, causing the lightener to be pushed away from that crease and therefore suffering from an uneven lift. Also, if the product swells up, it can start pushing the neighboring foils that are also swelling, so consequently they push each other down, exposing bleach out of the foil, causing bleed marks. The only reason why I would ever fold the foil is if the client had fine hair. The placement I'm using is a bricklay pattern. I've used this placement in my previous videos when I teased the hair back rather than air touch them. Make sure you have clean sections, guys, it's very important. Nobody likes a messy job. Not the assistant, not your boss, and definitely not your client. When you're holding the section outward, you have to ask yourself, how much blonde do I want there to be? The closer your fingers are to the scalp, the less you'll be able to blow away, therefore less dimension and more quantity of blonde. The further your fingers are from the scalp, the more you'll be able to blow away, therefore more dimension and less quantity of blonde. Now as we start the front, the money piece is going to make or break your entire look. It's the frame to your artwork. It needs to stand out. It needs to be bold. Therefore, it cannot be applied the same way as the rest. For the money pieces, we take slices. We continue the application onto the sides, starting from the hairline on the bottom, taking diagonal sections and repeating the same technique until we hit our top corner. Guys, remember not to take a section of hair wider than the width of your foil. The first bowl I used was 10 volume, the second was 15, the third was 20, and I just kept bumping it up by 5 so the last section could catch up quicker. When you're dealing with these large foils, you're going to experience some difficulty, but you have to work around it. For one, they're very heavy, and as you're packing them on, the client definitely feels it. They keep your work neat and clean, but it can cause some slippage. In this case, it's alright because we're root shadowing anyway, remember? Check this out, guys. 18 inches? I wasn't kidding. Would you believe there's a person under all that, looking like a satellite dish and all? Applying a little gentle heat to expedite the process. And now the scrape. Look at the color. Just like the inside of a banana. Can you tell how nice it's gonna look yet? Am I the only one that gets excited for this kind of stuff? You can't see it that clear in the video, but the ends were just a tad bit darker than the rest. So we tested the strength of her ends first with an elastic test, and her hair showed good signs. So we decided to reapply to slightly lighten the ends up a little bit more. Once we lifted each foil to the same color, we rinse. Just look at all that dimension. A great thing about Airtouch is that there's absolutely no teasing involved, so you don't have to worry about detangling anything. Now we pre-tone using my favorite purple shampoo by Fanola. This is going to neutralize any golden tones and leaves me with an even canvas for my toner. If you guys want 10% off your Fanola purple shampoo, conditioner, masks, oils, or anything Fanola related, use the code Dr. Balayage at checkout for 10% off. For my icy toner, I'm using a Schwarzkopf Igora Vibrance 9.5-1. You can already tell how icy it's actually going to be. When it's getting dark like that, don't panic. If you formulate it properly, it won't actually be as dark when you rinse. Of course, you have to make sure this process is for the full 15 to 20 minutes, followed by a rinse, a light shampoo to remove the scent of the toner, conditioner, and there you have it, guys. For those of you who made it this far, I want to thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and send this video to someone who can learn from this. These videos aren't easy to make, but I do it for you guys. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Dr. Balayage, and I'll see you in the next video.